No. No.
As I say, I do apologise. Many actors believe to get into character they need the right voice, the right shoes, the right hairstyle, but for me, it's always the hat. So here is today's. We speak today at the end of what can only be described as a momentous year as High Constables for the city of Lichfield.
We were honoured last year when, from a learned, erudite and wise gathering, as you are gathered today, we, Ken and I, were elected to serve in the eminent roles of High Constable. This ancient office of the Crown was first created by none less than the Conqueror, and was an hereditary post until Henry VIII. He was a king bent on power and control, and saw the High Commissioners as an intrusion into his plans. So he abolished them. Moving forward to Georgian times, and in particular to the publication of the English Dictionary, Dr. Johnson writes this, and we're all familiar with Dr. Johnson, writes this: before the police reform, constables are sober men, known to be enemies of acts of sedition, and go amongst them, the people, to observe that they, the people, what they do. Ladies and gentlemen, just imagine how Ken and I felt when we were elected by you. You are peers and cohabitants of the ancient and loyal city of Lichfield. Imagine how we felt. Ladies and gentlemen, we can only say we were touched. In fact, this has been the response for many years. I'm hearing the names, Ken Knowles and Roland Marks. The population was told to utter the peril when they're touched.
So, having moved among you and observed you for a full 12 months, and at the end of this year of office, we are here to report to you on our activities and achievements. We have listened. The questions on everyone's lips have been, just as Monty Python posed, what have the High Constables done for us? Or, as Lord Coe stated, what is the legacy? Our reply has always been this. Ask yourselves, what has happened in the last 12 months, and who was it who ensured the safety and security of those events? Unique events in 2012. In June, ask yourselves, who was it that ensured the smooth entry and departure of the Olympic flame through the thronged streets of Lichfield? Who was it? I know we all saw those showboating outriders from the Metropolitan Police on high-powered motorbikes, high-fiving their way down Dam Street. But remember, who was it that ensured everyone's safety? Later in the year, the police commissioner was elected by the populace, not just in Lichfield, but the whole county.
All 13% of them.
Who was it that ensured the safe return of thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ballot papers to the central hub for counting? An election has never been held with such a percentage turnout. Who was it? Ask yourselves, who was it that ensured this? The commissioner was duly elected and properly elected, and has since set about implementing his policies and manifesto, albeit appointing his own staff. Again, ask yourselves, who was it monitoring the process?
The answer, of course, is, well, it's certainly not been either of us. What have we achieved? Firstly, our greatest achievement has ensured that Tudor Row has been traffic-free for a whole year. The council in Gloucestershire recently saw it fit to paint double yellow lines down a narrow alleyway. We thought of this for Tudor Row, but we had second thoughts. We have also avoided another plebgate scandal, also in Tudor Row. I'm sure everyone is aware of the furore following the refusal by the local constabulary to a political thoroughfare in Whitehall. An honest member of society wished to proceed through the said thoroughfare on his bike. His name escapes me. I forget whether it was a truthful politician, an honest estate agent, or Father Christmas. But hold it there. It must have been Father Christmas, because the other two don't exist.
I'm sure that most people are aware that those noble members of staff of the City Council have moved from Wade Street and now execute their duties in Boar Street in Donegal House. Throughout that removal of the council's historic documents, important papers and their like, the thoroughfare known to us all as Tudor Row was kept open, traffic-free, and not once during the decamping of that erudite body of workers were any coarse or crude words used, and we, the plebs, as we are often referred to, we went about our work and business without undue cause and concern. We ensured that the gates were kept open and free passageway was allowed. The movements of all the council workers were in no way obstructed. So, at the end of what we consider a most successful year, we would like to share just a few examples of our unseen work.
Well, at Christmas, Ken and I celebrated with a few drinks, and realising we were over the limit, we did something neither of us had done before. We took the bus home. Within half an hour, we had arrived safely home without incident. This, as you can imagine, caused quite a big surprise, as neither of us has ever driven a bus before. And neither of us recall where we took it from. In addition, early in our term of office, we went on a bonding camping trip under canvas. We woke early, before the day had dawned.
Roland, I said, look up at the stars and tell me what you deduce.
Ken, I replied, I deduced that there must be life out there. Look at the thousands of stars. Some must have planets similar to Earth. And I replied, Ken, what do you deduce?
Scratching my beard, I replied, Roland, somebody's nicked the tent.
So finally, we leave you in the safe hands of our successors with the following words of advice.
Remember, you are all unique, just like everyone else.
Never test the depth of water with both feet. If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you.
Some days you are the fly, some days you're the windscreen.
A closed mouth gathers no foot.
And finally, never, under any circumstance, take a sleeping tablet and a laxative on the same night. To ensure the smooth handover however, to our successors, we are leaving a discussion paper in a drawer where our new High Constables will find in their new office in Donegal House. This is our legacy. And these are the crucial questions those two new High Constables must ask themselves.
Where are we? How did we get there? Where do we want to go? How do we get to where we want to go? How far do we have to go before we get to where we want to go? How would we know where we were when we got there?
Put quite simply, have we got a map? Why did we leave to get to where we are? Where were we before we had to leave to get to where we were before we knew where we were going to be? Where would we end up if we had a choice? Where would we end up if we didn't have a choice?
What would we choose given the choice? Do we have the choice to choose? Or indeed, can we be choosy about the choice choosings? What are the choosings?
Choices. Do we want to stop now? Or do we want to go right back to the beginning and start all over again?
Perhaps not.
But surely you can see our point. Because what we are talking about is life. Because life is one of those things most of us find very difficult to avoid.
In the words of the female police advisor, Law and Order, life is uncertain. Our lives certainly have a certain uncertainty about them, and we are certain yours do too. So with our uncertainty and your uncertainty, there's certainly a certain degree of uncertainty about the next 12 months. Of that, we can be quite sure.
So let's go forward. Purpose is what we are striving for. We must have purpose in the next 12 months. We must not be purposeless. We must not exhibit purposelessness. We must be purposelessness-less. Because we don't want to end up, do we?
We don't want to end up, do we?
Like that blind detective in the dark room looking for the black cat that simply isn't there. Evening all. Thank you for listening. We commend our successors, whoever they may be, to this congregation. Thank you.